Hello. I'm recommending you do 5 things before you take your Tesla to mainland Europe. Jennifer and I took the ferry to Santander and drove down to the Algarve earlier this year, and we had a great time. And this is what we've learned from our trip. If you can subscribe and like, that would be fantastic. I can't wait to get to 1,000 subscribers. It could be you that takes me over the 1,000 threshold, and that would be fantastic. Number 1, when you get on the ferry, which you have to do to go anywhere from the UK to mainland Europe, even if it's only a short crossing, you need to disengage tilt to stop your alarm going off. So if you go on the touchscreen, tap on safety and scroll down, you will then come to tilt intrusion. Press the button, the blue button, to take it off. But it needs to be the last thing that you do apart from closing the door or the boot. If you go back to the car to make sure it's left in neutral, the blue light comes on again. So disengage tilt to make sure it's the very last thing you do before leaving the car. You can close the doors and the boot, that's fine. We went to the Isle of Wight and the Orkney Islands on short trips before we took the long 24-hour to Santander. And on occasions the alarm did go off. However, by the time we went on the long trip, we had figured it out to disengage the tilt and didn't have a reduced battery with the alarm going off throughout the crossing. Number 2, having a Tesla is fantastic. It is the best car to go anywhere on a road trip, especially on the continent. But I recommend you get a Myo card if you're going to Spain or Portugal. It's only a backup. And you can go on the website, deposits money, and they will send you a card. And you can use this in any public charger in Portugal and some in Spain. Always good to have a backup, and I recommend that you use it when you're close to a Tesla supercharger, just in case it doesn't work. Brits that live in Portugal say it's fantastic, it always works. But of course they live there, and if you're new doing something wrong, it's not guaranteed, as I found out. And you certainly don't want to be miles from anywhere using the Myo card for the first time and having a problem. Best to use it when you're close to a Tesla supercharger. And if there is an issue, you're not going to be stressed out and you can fall back on your usual Tesla supercharger or test it when you're almost full. Having a Tesla makes us all lazy, but it's very simple and the envy of all manufacturers. And that's why GM and Ford are joining them very soon. Destination charging can bring down the cost of your trip. Now you can look for these on Airbnb and Booking.com and use the filter for destination chargers. But beware in Portugal, because many Airbnb hosts list destination chargers, but they don't actually have one, as it's a mistake that Airbnb have made, according to one Airbnb host. So it's worth checking with the hosts that they do actually have a destination charger if you've actually booked with them. Also, if someone doesn't list their property as a destination charger and you park and find that you're pretty close to where there's a plug, ask them if you can use it. And we found in Scotland, pretty much every time they said, yeah, not a problem. Obviously, off-road parking gives you a much better chance than parking on the street or car park. People often refuse the money. It depends on how much you've paid for your stay. But if you do a quick calculation of between 3 and 4 kilowatt hours per euro, you won't be far out, and it will be less than public charging and superchargers. We did stay at one hotel that had 3 Tesla superchargers, but most of the time we were iced and people parked there all night and much of the day. They weren't unplugging, pretty inconsiderate by some people, unfortunately. But I think it was actually the hotel's mistake putting the free destination charger at the closest spot to the hotel that everybody wanted. It would have been much better if they put the free supercharging a little bit further away from the front of the hotel hotspot everyone wanted, including gas and EVs. And don't forget to leave any comments below, and hope you can subscribe and like. Number 4, normally Tesla superchargers are about every 80 to 100 miles apart, sometimes more, sometimes less in Europe. However, check your route on the touchscreen, and if anywhere looks a bit further, just make sure that you are in range. The warm weather makes distances pretty good for your range, but driving on the autoroute, the range won't be quite as good because the roads are so fast and straight, especially on the toll roads, and sometimes when you're not. And it's easy to do 75 miles an hour legally. So it's worth having a look at the route to see if any of the distances between Tesla superchargers are a bit further than normal, and check the distance on Google Maps. When you're charging at the previous Tesla supercharger, it will tell you how much percentage battery you will have on arrival at the next one. Now, if it's lower than normal, let's say 10%, and it goes down during your driving, obviously you can take your foot off the accelerator and slow down. So you do actually have the power to control and not run out of electricity depending on how you are applying the accelerator pedal. Also, where you are staying, are you using the car every day? And how far are you from a Tesla supercharger? It's worth bearing this in mind if you're using the car daily and have to top up some distance away. It's simpler if you can stay close to a Tesla supercharger. Or do you have a destination charger you can use? Or do you have access with the Myo app at a local public charger? Jennifer and I stayed in Porto in Portugal on our way down to the Algarve for a week, and it was midway between superchargers. I think it was about 100 miles or so. So we decided to walk everywhere in Porto and catch buses, and it was much more fun and gave us enough charge to get to the next Tesla supercharger. I mean, if it had been really important, I would have started using the Myo app earlier, but I hadn't actually started using that until we got to the Algarve. Number 5, consider going on one of the Brittany ferries that go from Portsmouth, Plymouth, they don't sponsor me, to Santander or Bilbao in northern Spain. It's very relaxed and a little bit dearer than driving through France, but so relaxing to get to Santander, and then you can head for the Basque Country, Portugal, Algarve or Spain. I thoroughly recommend it, and Jennifer and I had a great time and made the first part of our trip so relaxing, although the Bay of Biscay can be a bit notorious and rough, but the ships are big and lying down in the cabin was always a good way to stop seasickness. Well, it worked for me anyway. Have a great trip in your Tesla going to Europe, and please let me know how you get on and leave a comment below. I hope you can like and subscribe and hit that notifications bell. Please don't forget to take your reusable coffee mug wherever you go, and I look forward to seeing you guys later on. Take care, bye.